Greetings, YouTube. You know, I've received a lot of feedback on this car in the first 24 hours that I posted it on my channel. Some of my favorite feedback includes the skeptics who just don't understand how this could be my dream car. My favorite comment's been that somebody thinks this is actually the Groot of cars. And look, dream car is a subjective thing. My dream car does not have the same utility, so to speak, as yours. If yours is a $500,000 or $1 million sports car, hey, respect. But for me, I want this video to be an attempt at showing you exactly why this is my dream car. And it starts with this beautiful, they call it Calypso Red, and it is what I like to think of as the Peter Parker Spider-Man suit red. It pops, but it's not so bright that it's distracting. And I am so thankful that since I am in Portland, Oregon, I have a co-pilot and a good brother to help out. This is Prof Box. Remember to mask up, kids. We're both masked right now in this video. And
she's beautiful. Not only does she pop, but she profs really well.
And doesn't fit your opinion into any kind of box, right?
No, it does not, sir.
Even the wheels, you know, I love the limited wheels. This is the highest trim. You've got this nice silver that extends all the way up. It's a very clean look, kind of a cool grille on the front. And then when you go all the way to the back, you can see a little sport tail. And then you have both the Sonata button, and then what matters most, Prof Box was the Vanna White of this. So the sun right up there is currently charging this solar roof. Now, you might look at the solar roof and think, so what? In fact, I've seen a lot of reviews on YouTube that call this thing a gimmick. But you see, I don't live but a mile from my office. Some of you watching this, heck, you might live a couple hours from your office, especially if you live in commute in places like California. But for me, this solar roof is going to charge my car every day because I don't have a garage, which is also why it's a perfect car for me. And so I leave my car outside all day, and I could, in theory, if I just drove to work from my house and then back, never spend a penny on gas as long as the sun was shining enough, which takes about 6 hours to charge the car through the roof. Pretty cool, huh?
Amazing charge, like electric.
But you know, this outside's cool, but I think it's time we look at the inside.
Got to, especially when it looks so good.
And we're back. Kids, remember during these difficult times to mask up.
Boom.
We are both masked inside this vehicle. So first vehicle I've ever owned that actually has a engine start-stop. Some of you may not think that's a big deal, but I'm a big fan of it. And on top of that, I want you to notice we are very tall. He is almost 6'5".
Yep, 6'5 1/4.
And one of the things I don't like about a lot of cars is just the arm bar it takes sometimes to pull gears. This has the new gear buttons to where you just press a button so you have more arm room.
Very helpful.
Along with the leather interior.
Full wingspan here.
And speaking of the interior, if Prof Box puts his phone down, you can see he's got an iPhone, and he takes it away, and it's got wireless charging, including there's Prof Tot.
Look how cute she is. Cutest kid ever.
Future MCOC player, or if she's smart, non-MCOC player. And I have my phone currently in. You can see this USB cord, and so I have my Apple CarPlay running. And this also gives a breakdown of the fuel economy. Last trip, 42.2 miles per gallon, which is way better than my last car. I drove from Seattle to Portland and still have 346 miles on my tank. This thing can get a 600-mile range. On top of that, we have both heated and leather seats with heated and cooling. And you can do that for both the passenger and the driver. And so you can turn that up. And speaking of features, we also have Bose sound system in the Limited. And on top of that, we have kind of the beauty of a guy who's almost 6'5". And
luxurious and spacious.
Thank you, Home Alone. Exactly. And so, yeah, it's just great legroom and headroom. Again, if you're watching this and you're like 5'6", 5'7", that's not going to matter to you so much. But when you're 6'5", it makes a huge difference, especially in a hybrid, which typically, if you buy something even like a Prius, it's built really well, but they're not going to say that headroom and legroom is like a selling point.
What about the dash 3D miles per hour thing?
All right, so I hope that you can see this. We're going to try, there's glass right here, and in the heads-up display, let's see if we can zoom in. There it is, 0 miles per hour. It shows on the glass in front of you to where you never have to look down the miles per hour if somebody is in your left blind spot or right blind spot, and even the speed limit, and it shows a speed limit sign, and it automatically sees when a speed limit sign has entered their view, and it changes the speed limit for you based off of your car's location.
Also, this is like some VR stuff because from the passenger seat, you can't see that at all.
Right?
It looks totally invisible. So it's lined up perfectly to your eyesight as a driver.
But it's not distracting for the rest of the cabin. So when you reverse, you do have this backup sound, and it looks like the front left is a little too close. So we're gonna back up and get that distance better. But it has a 360 camera, so it shows you above the car everything around the car at all times.
How?
I have no idea.
Is it a drone that somehow comes up from your car?
I have no idea, but then when you move your wheel, it's got a perfect like 4K preview of your tires, so you can shift your wheel, and it shows really the red, the yellow, and the blue. And,
whoa, it does it over here too.
Also does it in the 360 at the same time. It shows you where your wheels are going to go.
Some Iron Man kind of shit right here. How do you get those mini drones up there? How is this working?
I have no idea, but it helps. He is very much impressed.
I am impressed. And what did you say the miles per gallon on this baby was?
In town it's about 42 to 45, and on the highway it's 52.
Now you said this thing has some giddy up and go on the highway too.
Oh,
is
it
that
sure
right?
does. It wants to go. It's got a traditional 6-speed automatic, not a CVT. So for those of you who do cars, in terms of knowledge, know that a lot of hybrids come with the CVT, which is not exactly popular with a lot of drivers, but not in this case. And let's put it back in park.
Now, I'm also thinking about a lot of our maybe teenage viewers who are trying to learn how to drive here, and I know the toughest thing for me about driving is changing lanes, especially on the highway. It's very scary. Is there something about this car that helps that make it easier?
Good question. So, I'm going to be driving 30 hours back from Oregon to Stillwater, Oklahoma. This car has traditional cruise control, but it also has this fancy button here that is a highway driving assist. And when you press cruise and the highway driving, you can actually see in the dash those icons appear in front of you every time you drive. What this allows you to do is have sensors on either side of your car that will keep your car in the lane, and if you start to drift, it will actually move left or right. In addition to that, it's going to have a smart cruise that gives you a certain speed that you can set and a certain distance that you can follow from the car in front of you. And if you get too close to that car, it will automatically slow down without hitting the brakes. And so essentially it drives the car for you. All you have to do is make sure you put your hands on the wheel so that if there's an emergency, you don't actually have the car trying to do everything. It's also worth noting that when you have your hands on the wheel, the car can sense your touch, so you don't have to grip the steering wheel. You just get to relax and kind of just have it gently pressed against it, which, as you were saying, with new drivers, makes it a lot less scary to be on the interstate.
I really wish they had that when I was learning how to drive, or in most cars still. In 20 years, this is going to be probably standard, but right now it's so cool that you get to have this. I wish I did. Even on my newer cars, definitely don't have that.
So we said he's 6'5". We know that. So the final thing we're going to do is just check out the back seats and see how comfy it is, since this will be a vehicle where I'm picking my family up at the airport if we fly in for a particular event, especially post-COVID. All right, prop box is sitting in the back seat for the first time. This is actually the first time we've ever had anybody this moment in the back. And this is with this front seat up as far as it'll go back. So this is the maximum amount of legroom that is limited for anybody. And again, he's 6'5". How do you feel being in the back of the car?
I'm not gonna lie, being 6'5", like you'd hope that the person in front of you would move up a little bit. Thanks, invisible man or woman. But it's still doable. I can still definitely do this, and the leather is so comfortable and nice that it could make a long ride very enjoyable.
Yeah, you have back there the nice leather interior, and then I think if you go over to the window, you can actually pull down. Do you have a sunshade?
Or up.
Yeah, pull up. Yeah. So you can put that up, and that actually, if you want to sleep back there, it gives you the chance to not have the sun beating down on you as much.
There's also a charger back here.
Yep, got a little USB.
That's very handy if somebody wants to play some MCOC on a long car ride and mom or dad's driving.
Well, you just talked about an invisible woman, so
Boom.
there's an MCOC reference right there.
That's right, I'm marveling at that.